Hello everybody, this is Money Mom. Welcome back to the channel. It's Monday night. Normally I do Money Making Monday, but because tomorrow is a special day and you'll find out about what tomorrow is tomorrow, I am not going to do Money Making Monday. I'm going to actually do my Personal Growth Tuesday tonight because many of you are interested in it, and I promised you. I'm doing the continuation of my adoption story and what I found out from Ancestry.com, so let me get started. Last week, and I'll link the video below, most of you know that I was adopted when I was 3 weeks old. I was a baby. My parents who adopted me could not have children of their own, so they adopted me, and 2.5 years later, they adopted another girl from another family. I think she was 6 weeks old at the time. But we're primarily talking about me. So, I was adopted when I was a baby. I'd never searched for my biological family, but when I turned 51, and I'm 54 now, I sent away non-identifying information about my family. That means I couldn't contact them, but it would give me some basic information. Well, with that is what I shared with you guys. So, like I said, I've never looked for my biological family. Well, one of the things that I did is I sent away for Ancestry.com, and I mostly just did it because I was kind of curious where I came from. I wasn't doing it to connect with any biological family. I wasn't searching for anybody, but I wanted to find out more information about me and a little bit about my nationality so I could share it with my daughter. My husband knows all about his family and his ancestry, and he enjoys history and enjoys sharing about that, so I wanted something to share with my daughter Caroline. So I sent away for Ancestry, and I won't go into all the nationality. A big part of me is German, maybe a few other little things, but that's primarily what I am. But I found some other things through this. I didn't actually find them myself. What happened about 3 months after I signed up with Ancestry.com, I get a message through their message system, because other people that are in Ancestry.com that sign up can message other members. They don't directly email them, but they send a message, and if that person decides to respond, they can. And I get a message from a lady, and she's a very kind lady, lives in Minnesota. I'm not going to give any names. And she sent me a message saying, you know what, it looks like we're related somehow. And she wasn't sure how, because she was new to using Ancestry.com. And so we just connected, and we actually spoke on the phone a few times. A very lovely person told me all about herself. And like I said, one of the things I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm not going to go into details about the family or give any kind of names, because I don't think that they would ever watch these videos, but I want to be protective of their private information. So anyway, she is, this particular person that sent me a message was in her 80s. And by the way, she has now passed away, but she has 5 children of her own. Her husband had also passed away. Well, after doing some research and having one of my valued mystery shoppers, who is actually really good at doing genealogy, help me come up with some information, come to find out, and this family and this person I spoke to, by the way, was trying to figure out, hey, are you a cousin? How are you related to our family? We've never heard of you. Well, come to find out that this particular person, I will call her Sarah to protect her anonymity. Sarah, the person that sent me the message, there were 8 kids in the family. One of her brothers, who was married but separated at the time, had a relationship with my mother, and I was the product of that relationship. Well, nobody in the family knew this. No one knew I was born. And as a matter of fact, on my non-identifying information, it says specifically on there that my biological father knew that I was going to be born, but he did not want anything to do with it, probably because he had 3 children of his own at that time, and I'm not sure what he was going through, so he didn't want anything to do with this. And that's kind of what happened. When I shared this with Sarah, at first she kind of didn't believe it, because she was thinking, well, wait, why wouldn't I know of this? But I think a lot of things like this happened in families back in the day, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, even before that, maybe even 70s, but especially the 50s and 60s. If you had a child and you weren't married, whether you were the male or female version, if you didn't get married to that person, many times, the woman might be sent away to live with a relative and nobody knows anything. And then years later, you might find out about it. So I have connected with a few of the family members. I've gotten to speak to one of Sarah's sons, and very nice man, very kind. But this is kind of what my takeaway, and this is actually kind of a short video. My takeaway from this is that even though they connected with me and they've been very polite and kind, I think they were more curious about who I was. They all have their life in Minnesota. I have my life in Texas. And they never knew that they would meet me. They never even knew that I was part of the family. And as a matter of fact, my biological father has passed away, and it looks like he passed away a few years ago. So I will never be able to connect with him. They don't know who my biological mother is, so I wouldn't be able to connect with her. And I have kind of just felt led to just let this be. And I always was very respectful of my family or biological family, the ones that did connect with me, which was Sarah and her son, and a few had sent me messages, and I had spoken briefly to a few. They were very protective of Sarah because they didn't, she was old, she was an older lady, very sweet and kind, very sweet soul. But, people that were born in the 20s and 30s many times are more old-fashioned. And so, I wanted to be very respectful and honor their wishes and not push myself on a family that doesn't know me, that I may never meet because I live in Texas, they're in Minnesota. But occasionally I might hear from a few of the family, well, actually just one of the family members. But for right now, I'm not connecting with any of them, and I'm okay with that they live their life, I live mine. We still wish one another well. There's no hard feelings on my side or their side. I feel extremely grateful, and it's kind of a little bit off topic. Family doesn't have to be blood related. For me, I have a wonderful husband, a wonderful daughter. I've got some fantastic friends. I have wonderful parents who raised me. And I've got some great people in my life that really love and care for me, that I'm so grateful for. And I know this might sound really corny. I really feel like you guys are part of my family too. I know that we haven't met, and it seems kind of silly to say somebody you meet online is your family, but I feel like we all have a connection. And I have so much to be grateful for. And like I always said, we all want human connection. We all just want to be loved. That's the bottom line. And so I'm just really grateful. I thought you might find this story very interesting, that I shared this, and I'm really glad that I have the opportunity to share. Sum it up in a nutshell, I did connect with some biological family, but I think it's kind of agreed that we're all living our own life anyway. It's nice to connect, wish one another well, and move on from there. This is Money Mom signing off, and as always, I love you. Bye-bye.